Hey folks, this is Brian again. I am back with another video. Today is April 13th, a Monday, and we are back to our weekly recap. But first, I missed a couple days, and I just want to talk about, what that was about and, understanding, essentially kind of diving a little bit more into the founder's journey, right? So I think the first thing is let's address that really quick. So my last video was on Friday the 10th, and I had Saturday and Sunday. I kind of took those days off. And I think the big thing more than anything else is Friday, I was struggling quite a bit. Like when it comes to having like imposter syndrome, not really believing in myself, seeing like the progress I've made thus far is I feel like I should have made more progress. And then like when it comes out to things like burnout and, I've been working essentially since I separated from my last company at the end of February, that entire March. And then, kind of starting this journey here and in the YouTube channels when it comes to, posting videos, kind of shortly after that. So I built one app called Court Crew pretty much fully. And then I noticed like, oh, snap, this is a social app and it's going to be harder to one, monetize, and then two, get users. So I kind of like pivoted a little bit when it comes to that piece of it. So that's when Daypath came up and say, hey, I need an app that actually can produce individual results and individual value for just one person using it. So I don't need to be a network. I don't need the only way that one person gets value is because there's a ton of other people on the platform. Right. So that's where Daypath came up. And just to kind of give you another recap of Daypath for this recap video. Daypath is a essentially achievement app. So whatever you want to achieve within a given year, you can put that in. It's going to break it down to quarters, months, and weeks. And so from here, I've been kind of like building and really focusing a lot of my energy on Daypath, trying to get it up to a point to where I can start monetizing and is actually solving real problems, right? And getting users. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But again, I was kind of reaching that I was drained. Again, I was like, really questioning whether or not I should be doing this and if I'm the right person for this and things of that nature. So that's one of the things that I think if you're on this similar journey, you have to understand like you may have some of these down days, but the big thing is just like getting back up and continuing forward on the path, right? Like part of that, like that reset and kind of like being able to relax and doing things like that, it actually helped me a lot because I generate new ideas for things to progress forward this week with, right? Like, and sometimes that happens, right? And I think that's one of the things that you really need to understand is sometimes you get in those situations to where you're feeling down and out, but as long as you can figure out what that next step is going to be, it can kind of help you. Now, with that, I actually added some additional things in here inside the app because of that, right? Like part of the AI interviews I did, they kind of mentioned it like, hey, I don't want to feel bad if I have a bad day, or I get thrown off track, or I get burnt out or drained, or whatever the case. I want the app in order to be able to respond to me in order for that to happen. So, like, that's one of the things I built into this. So now, for example, if you're going through your daily check-in, you say you have low energy, or you're going through your journal and you're saying, like, hey, listen, I have things that are happening, in my life that's really taking time away from, the time I can spend on this and things of that nature. If you mention things like that, it's going to recognize that. And it's going to, once you go and say suggest new tasks, it's going to suggest things like take a rest day, take a day off, or, do smaller tasks that may not take as much energy, right? Like those are things it's going to do. It's going to help you manage that time so you can get back on your feet and kind of progress towards the thing. I mean, towards the goals or achieve things you want to achieve, right? So that's one thing. I think so burnout, the absence and really just having that imposter syndrome really kind of took me out for a couple of days to be completely honest with you. The next thing I want to talk about is just like the 9 to 5 schedule, right? Like one of the things that because I separated from the company and then jump right into this, I was already in that 9 to 5 mode of work, break, right, lunch or whatever the case is, and then work some more, and then you just take the rest of the evening off, right? Like, and you try to recharge. That's not working. And I feel like a lot of us have that idea that, for example, you're supposed to be cooped up inside, looking at a screen all day, and just following that same pattern, right? When it comes to that, like even when it comes to like going out and getting lunch, those were things that I was doing, and I would go out, bring it back, and I would just go back working. And I'm like, wait a minute, like part of some of the funnest things when I come to like remembering past jobs, some of the things we did was like go out and you have some time out to sit and relax at lunch, have a conversation or whatever. But I wasn't instituting that inside what I'm doing now. Right. It's like, so I'm still trying to go through and trying to figure out what that actually looks like for me. What is my actual rhythm when it comes to, work and enjoying time, enjoying some of the good days, for example, things like that. I'm still trying to go through some of that, and better understand where that stands with me. So again, and then the last thing I just want to talk about when it comes to like the founder journey, one of the things I struggle with quite a bit is productivity guilt. Like the times when I am relaxing, I feel like I should be working. I should be making more progress towards. I feel like I haven't gotten to the point that I need to be at the time of day that it is, right? Like, and so I'm like, I need to do more. I need to do more. I need to do more. Where actually it helps to recharge in order so you can do more at a later date, right? And so I think that's one of the things that I feel like I know I do. If you have a similar feeling, please let me know in the comments, if this resonates with you at all. But that's kind of where I'm at, right, when it comes to building these various products, understanding the users that I'm targeted at, and really trying to solve their problems to a point to where I can produce something valuable for them. That's kind of where I am. And really Daypath is a solving my own problem, right? When it comes to, and that's why I'm using it along this journey as kind of my base tool to show you all, right? So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that really quick. But today I'm back. We're gonna move forward and jump into it. So today we always do on a Monday our weekly recap. So like what happened in the past 7 days, and we can kind of go through there. So again, right now I'm still on my journey to build 6 revenue generating apps, with AI tooling, essentially by late 2026. Right now I have 2 apps. One you can see right in front of you. And I did a few different things last week. So like I changed this final destination. I'm going back down the path of, based on feedback, going down the path of creating this into a journey, right? Like it's not just about the end goal, but it's like what's happening along the way. And because this app breaks things down into quarters, months, and even weeks, like what are you doing that next day that can make you one step closer to kind of getting to your goal? So that's one of the things that we have here with this. So I did these essentially a little bit of UI changes here. Like I said, final destination instead of your goal, right? One of the big things I had, one of the big pieces of feedback is that people really don't like the word goal because it's too businessy. And one of the things I'm actually going to do kind of going forward is going to be more so around, focuses around whatever your personal achievements are. Like what do you want to personally achieve versus versus things with work or whatever the case is, because a lot of those things are structured already. This is like, hey, personally, what do you want to, whether it be knowing how to knit or learn how to play the guitar or play piano or whatever the case is, like learn a new language. That could be something personally you want to do and you want to achieve in a given year, and then you can put that in here and it'll break it down for you. So again, so right now we have some active tasks. I have 2 of 12 done here, that we kind of started yesterday. A lot of things to kind of look at. I did do one of these already. Like here, we're picking up with the videos back again, and then accomplishing an itinerary. So we're already kind of getting a few things done today. So let's jump into really quick. Let me pop over to some of our progress here. So let me update this, and we can take a look at. So right now, what we have here, here's our daily sessions. Our sessions are down. Now, I'm not promoting the app as much right now because I'm trying to develop how we talk about it in public spaces, right? Like, so instead of using the word goal, maybe it's achievement or accomplishment or whatever, things of that nature. I want to make sure that we're actually talking about it in the right way versus and having the right words for that and making sure we understand the targeting, right? So again, we're down right now. I don't expect it to be up unless it just goes viral in some way. I don't expect it to be up, but So that's where we are right there. Again, I think last time we talked about this a little bit more when it comes to social monials. This is what I use in order to track, various campaigns and social campaigns and whatnot. If we go down here, I mean, we do have 30 clicks in total. X seems to be largely the place where it's getting some energy, right? So this week I'll probably be focusing more on that, or it could be a next week thing when it comes to establishing the primary marketing message like this week, and then next week I start promoting more regularly on the various things. I may even try to do a relaunch as well, so just to kind of like give some ideas there. But that's where we are. I mean, like I said, we have 2/3 of the clicks being on X, right? X is probably the place where I'll spend probably most of my time. It seems like Facebook and Instagram right now are not great for this type of thing. So I'll spend a little bit more of my time there. So let's pop back over to Daypath and we'll go through the weekly recap very quickly. All right, so as you can see, what we have here, and let me just zoom in. What we have here is weekly, we have monthly, and we have the various goals. So your goals just goes through, if you change your goal over, like since you start using the product, um, this goes in now and it lists your past goals. So this is a past goal. It didn't really capture what I wanted correctly. So I had this new one. I don't have any monthly recaps yet, but this is like obviously just recaps the entire month instead of the week. And then here's the latest weekly recap. So let me zoom in a little or zoom out a little bit. Here we go. All right, so here we go. Current paths from April 6th to April 12th. What an incredible week you had, maintaining your check-in streak and completing almost all of your tasks. Your energy levels were mostly charged up or steady, showing a great balance even with one day where you were running a bit low. You're making significant strides towards your goals and building a lifestyle you truly desire. So they're saying pretty much my energy summary, I was pretty much good for most of the days. I did have, like I said, one day where it wasn't that great. And that was, I say, that Friday, April 10th, it was just like, it started off good and it just like tanked, unfortunately. My task completion, I completed almost 90% of my tasks. I had a streak of 19. And here are some of my journal themes, right? Like I had digital nomad, product development, rest and recovery, income diversification, AI customer interviews, were some of the things that I talked about quite a bit in my journal entries. So that kind of gives you that. Let's jump over and do the daily check-in really quick, and then we can close it out. All right. So here we are from yesterday's reaction again. So every single daily check-in has yesterday's reflection, essentially what you were doing that day, what happened, and just a recap of that. So here's a quick outlook for or how your day went, right? Or in this case, yesterday. My energy yesterday was low, unfortunately. I completed 2 different tasks, and then here's the summary. It's clear you needed that time to rest and hydrate while your body recovers, even if missing pickleball felt disappointing. I love I love that you found peace in your garage and made it home safely from GVSU, which is Grand Valley State University, for those who don't know. Taking it slow with a little monetization research was a gentle way to stay inspired while honoring your need for stillness. All right, so right now I am saying I am charged up. Again, it's going to give you a little bit of this energy code is going to give you a little bit of a summary, not even summary, but like a few words here about your energy. It's wonderful to see you feeling fully charged, up and vibrant today after seeing your energy dip over the last 2 days. Try to prioritize your most important task while this wave of motivation is high. So I want to talk about this really quick. So one of the things I did was now it's looking at the last 7 days of your energy management, your energy history, your journals, your tasks, your things of that nature. And it's going to start bringing some of these things in. Obviously, it's getting to know you a little bit better and being able to understand when you need a little bit of help, but also when you may need not, or need a little push as well. So I think that's really cool when it comes to that piece of it. So let's move forward. 2 things I'm grateful for right now. Today, it's an amazing day. However, it's going to be a little rainy, but the weather, as far as I think it's gonna be like 78 degrees or whatever the case is. So I'm able to kind of get out in the garage. I can work out of there, which is awesome. And then grateful that I had a weekend to rest and relax. And I think it was extremely important for me. Like when it comes to that, I've been kind of grinding pretty hard lately. So like just having that time to rest and relax really was helpful. Daily journal. This one, what fuel your return of good energy? I think the big thing more than anything else is just the rest and relax. Being able to not think about the marketing, not think about the progress, not think about what apps are next or how I'm going to push Daypath out to more users and get more users on the platform or in the product. Like not having to think about that and just be like, hey, listen, I'm gonna listen to a podcast. I'm gonna, watch some shows or catch up on some things. Those are things that are super helpful for me because it helps me to take a step back and not focus on work so much. All right, let's take a look at what we have here. Man, I am behind on a lot of these things. As you see, carried over 4 times, carried over 3 times. I'll be focused on a lot of this stuff today. That way I can kind of knock them off my list. I'm not gonna add anything, but this one says change tagline for Daypath to accomplishment or achievement itinerary or something of that nature. Reanalyze words to use and not use within the product marketing material. Look into building a Google News alternative for myself that eliminates ads and paid articles. Play pickleball today. I may not get to this one today. I'll definitely play tomorrow because I have a lot of things I need to catch up on over the weekend. So we're gonna keep it like this and move forward. All right, what's your number one priority today? I think it's going to be yes. I do need to start writing this. I've been procrastinating, guys. Hey, if you have some procrastination steps or tips, let me know. I did recently get this book, or I wouldn't say recently, it's like probably a couple of years ago, but it's super helpful. Probably gonna start using it today, but it could be something that could be helpful. I think I may show it maybe a different day, but this carried over 4 times. I really need to kind of get this done because the big thing here is the challenge is I'm still creating the process, right? But I think I need to document what I have for the process right now in order to that way I can just iterate on it as I make changes and make updates. So I think that's one of the challenges I'm running into is that I don't have the process fully baked out, but maybe I just write down what I currently have and I can kind of go from there. But so let's do that. Outside of that, I mean, let's go ahead and say this is our plan for today. There you go. Document the process is the number one. I have 4 of 12 things on my task list done. And we're gonna keep moving forward. So, all right, guys, let's have a great Monday. I hope you got some value out of this. If you did, please subscribe and you can follow me along my journey. Again, we're at the low point and we're rising up. There are gonna be some good things coming in the future. All right, thanks everyone.